So Corey, what does power mean to you? How being a seducer gives a feeling of power because you know how, and why a woman will do what she does. Masculine guy who drives the fun bus.
Well, something that like I wrote about this in 3% Man, and like for guys that are bamboozled by society, societal conditioning, what we see in the news and the media, men are supposed to be extra nice, talk about our feelings, throw our $1,000 jacket in a mud puddle so your girl doesn't get anything on her shoes, and silly Disney style romantic nonsense like that. That when you go and you behave like the movies show, which is in essence to basically stalk a girl, and eventually after you chase her enough and you tell her how much you really, really super duper like her, that she'll fall in love with you and go, "Oh, I can't believe I didn't see it sooner. You're perfect. Let's get married." That's the way it works in the movies, but it doesn't work in real life. And so for me, it's part of it is undoing that programming and recognizing that what we see, because we're in essence propagandized by a false archetype of how men and women are supposed to be, because you have masculine energy and you have feminine energy, and there has to be sexual polarity between the two. And that's for heterosexual relationships. It applies to gay relationships and also lesbian relationships, because I coached all of the above. And if I'm coaching a lesbian, 9 times out of 10, it's the masculine lesbian. So I teach her to act like a heterosexual male would act. And same thing if it's two gay guys. I'm usually most of the time talking to the masculine of the guys, and I just teach them to act like a masculine man. Because, I mean, it's like instantly the sexual attraction and intimacy will come back when you start behaving in your natural essence. Like for men, it means showing up in your masculinity, because when a man is in his masculine, it makes women feel safe, to relax, to trust his masculine core, to trust his leadership, to submit to him, to follow his lead willingly and enthusiastically, not because you manipulated her into feeling that. And so like for me, like as I was learning this stuff and learning to unlearn what I had learned in essence, like Master Yoda says, once I stopped behaving the way that I had been taught and started being more direct, more decisive, taking my time, not blowing her phone up, not trying to see her 3 or 4 times in a week the second week we've met, just taking slow, measured steps, I noticed the effect that it had on the women that I was dating. And as I got better at it and I displaying these properties or these principles of masculinity, I noticed that like one woman in particular I really liked and I had screwed up with and kind of pushed her away from pursuing too much, to where I backed off, and then I backed off a little too much, to where I came off as like a cold fish. And then when I finally kind of found that sweet spot between pursuing too much and not pursuing enough, it's like it drew her to me like a magnet, like we were talking about earlier, like a sucker fish. It's like she was just all over me. She wanted to be when when a woman's in love with you and her emotions, she's feeling the emotions of love. She wants your attention all the time. She wants to be with you all the time. Know what you're doing, where you're at. She wants to be close to you. If you're walking down the street, she wants to be touching you or bumping into you or holding your hand or near you or sitting next to you in the chair and her knees bumping yours and she's leaning over. Women want to be with you when they're in love, and that's when you're in your masculine. And when I saw that, and what was great about it and was freeing for me as a man, was that I didn't feel like I had to do anything, because I always in the old way of thinking was I have to do something to get her to like me. The reality is attraction's not a choice. She already liked me, but what I have been doing and what most guys do is they talk the women out of liking them who do like them. And most guys don't realize it, and they keep pursuing, they keep chasing, even once the woman's going, "I'm confused, I need some time, let's just be friends." And they figure, "Oh, I just got to prove myself to her," because that's what they teach in the movies. You keep calling, you keep pursuing, you send her flowers, you write her love letters, whatever it happens to be. And then eventually she gets a restraining order against you. But what for me, as I found that kind of sweet spot, it felt natural to me. And I really became hyper-focused on my purpose and my mission in life. And at the time, I was still in real estate. I became more productive. I had more energy. I felt great. I had a cockiness and a swagger to me that I hadn't had before, because now I had this beautiful girl who became my girlfriend, and I was totally in love with her. It was like love at first sight when I first met her. And so the first year and a half, it was like back and forth between dating, being in friend zone, not talking, to her wanting to move in, wanting to get engaged, and talking about, she was just all over me. We were always together. And when you see that change in your girl and she's so into you, it gives you confidence. It gives you swagger. You naturally act like a man.
I have a
man
question.
She's proud to be with. Yeah.
How do you not allow yourself to get intertwined to your feelings? Since, she's all over you and all this attention, she's in love with you. How do you keep yourself from falling, like slipping up? Because you said, like, you have this confidence and to not, like, give too much because you don't want to, like, scare her away. But you also don't want to seem like you're not interested at all. But your feelings are there, obviously, right? You said you're in love with her.
Yeah, you're not hiding your feelings. You're not acting like a zombie. You notice everything. You notice her body language, her physiology. You notice which way, when she's sitting with her legs crossed, which way her knees are pointed. If you're standing next to each other, is she bumping into you, or is she standing away?
Yeah.
If you're out in public, is she facing you, or is she turned like she wants to escape? I mean, all these little things, it's like I see things that most people don't see just because I do this for a living. I read body language. But when you could see, and I detail this in my book, is that you could tell when a woman's really into you and what she's feeling. And if you say something that's unattractive, you can literally see her body language go from everything's pointing at you to it turns away. She instantly becomes turned off because of something you said or you did, and you could tell you just displayed unattractive behavior.
Yeah.
And when you display that unattractive behavior, you recognize it. You're like, wow, I just noticed a complete shift in her body after I just said that. And then you think about what you just said, and you're like, yeah, it probably didn't make me look too confident and strong or attractive. Because the reality is that, for guys, it's like, if it's not going to make her like you more or see you more as a masculine, confident, assertive guy that knows what he wants, that expects to get what he wants. In other words, it's like you can use self-deprecating humor, but the reality is with you guys are like instant feedback. Just like cats are instant feedback. When cats are comfortable, they want to sit in your lap and purr, and when they're bored, they want to be left the hell alone, and they don't want you touching them when they've decided they want to go off and do their thing. And so for, at that particular time in that relationship, I could see it's literally instant feedback. She goes from wanting to touch and kiss and to hold hands to not wanting to touch, not wanting to be close, and you just let her be. And she'll come back a few minutes later.
That's
just
so
like a cat
true.
will.
That's so true. Like, when you're mad, you want them to chase you. Yeah. And when they're not chasing you, you're like, why is he not chasing me?
Yeah, we just don't say anything.
Like, so you seek that affection. So that's actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very freeing. It makes the guy feel natural. You don't really have to think about everything, and she's with you, and you own her heart, and she ain't going anywhere. Even if there's some dude who comes up and tries to hit on her, you'll see her looking over in your direction and smiling, or, oh, that's my boyfriend over there. And then, the look on her face is like, can you come rescue me now? and then you go rescue her. You don't feel threatened by other men at all because you know something that almost every other guy doesn't.
So that's great that you feel like that as the guy. But what about the girl? Because I feel like in that situation, if I put myself in those shoes, I would feel like I would be scared. Like, you're so confident that you're not going to lose me, right? But where am I getting that confidence that I'm not going to lose you?
You're getting reassured through the affection that you get back from me. Because you're going to be, in contact. So there was an analogy in my book. It's like, and this clicked for me. My one of my girlfriends, her daughter, she was like 5.5 at the time we were dating. And so we were sitting in the garage at her parents' house, And it was myself and I think two of her older brothers, her dad, her mom, I think some of her cousins were there and their kids were there. And so we had a bunch of little kids that were like, 3 to 6 years old, and they're all playing. And so my girlfriend's daughter, we were just sitting talking, and I had my legs crossed like this, and I was drinking a beer. And she came over and she picked my leg up and set it down, and then she sat in my lap. She put her arm around me, and she's like, "Corey." And then she started asking me about something and was going on and on about it for a little bit. Talked for a few minutes. I was totally present with her, gave her the attention she wanted. And then she just hopped up and went and played in the yard with her cousins for a little while. And maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, she came back, same thing, sat in my lap, wanted to talk, asked me some questions. It's like, so when women are unsure of themselves, they'll seek out a guy's attention and validation. If she's wondering where she stands with a guy, she'll call and go, "Hey, I was thinking about you. I saw this guy in the mall and he was wearing a shirt. It's exactly like the one you wear and it reminded me of you. What are you doing?" I was like, "Babe, it's so good to hear your voice. I miss you. I want to see you. Get your sexy ass over here tonight."
Yeah.
That's the reassurance. So it doesn't mean because I feel confident that my girl feels insecure.
Yeah.
So it's the men who know what they're doing, recognize that it's like the thing that struck me. And there was another time we were over at it was like Cocoa Beach or somewhere like that. And so we were all swimming in the pool, and her daughter just kept getting out on this. She's like, "Corey, catch me." And she would jump into my arms just so I could catch her. And then she would swim back over the side, get out, and she kept doing that. And it was just, and then that, and along with that day where we're sitting in the garage and she kept coming over, sit in my lap every once in a while, and then thinking of the cat analogy. And then you think about how does that play out when little girls grow up into and become adult women? How do they still have that pattern to seek out that masculine rock, that mountain, that man in their life that makes them feel safe? And that's what women do. They might disappear. They seem like they're bored, or you spent Friday, Saturday, Sunday together, and you can tell from the time you picked her up Friday till you dropped her off Sunday, she's not as excited as Sunday night as she was Friday when you first got together, and you can kind of see that. And the key for men is to not be perturbed by that, and not to take it personally. Like, what's wrong? She's not as into me and excited as she was Friday. Now she acts like she doesn't care and just wants to get away from me. And the guy's like, "You're different. Something's wrong. Where are we? Where do we stand?"
You don't like me anymore.
Yeah, and he starts acting insecure, which makes him look like a bitch, and then turns her off even more, and then she becomes more distant. Instead, you don't take it personally. He's like, "Hey, it's just like the kitty cat."
Yeah.
Kitty cat, got the ball of yarn, got bored, and was like, "All right, I'm going to go do some other things." You don't take it personally. You're thinking, "Hey, now I can go hang out with my guy friends, go say hello to mom or whatever, go do something productive." She'll be back.
Everyone has that energy bar.
And then you don't hear from her Monday. And then Tuesday, you haven't heard from her. And then Tuesday night around 8, "Hey, what are you doing?" And you're like, "Babe, how you doing? I'm so glad to hear from you. You should come over. You should come cuddle with me tonight. I miss you." Something simple like that, where she's going to come back. It's like you don't take it personally that she doesn't like me anymore.
Yeah.
She's just, women are like cats from that perspective. So when she's wondering, "I haven't heard from him. What's he doing? Does he miss me? Who's he with? What's he up to?" And then that's when you guys reach out, because you're looking for the attention, the validation. And he's like, "Oh, it's awesome to hear from you. Come here."
Yeah.
So he's always saying yes to you, because love is allowing. Love is allowing you to stay or to go or to come back.
That would make me so mad, though.
Yeah.
Like if 2 days pass, maybe I want you to, message me and say like you miss me and that you want to see me. So if I have to reach out, I'm just like, ugh. Like, why do I have to be the one to initiate this? If you do miss me, like, you say so.
Say, because you bagged the ultimate band,
I'm usually
baby.
that
You would have
person.
called me.
Because I'm awesome, and you do all those nice things for me, because I'm the best guy in the whole world.
I'm usually that person that I don't, once I see that I'm the one doing it more than the other person, it does kind of concern me.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, I'm also that kind of person. Like, I mean, I don't take it personal if he, say, for example, he doesn't text me the whole day. But yeah, after like a couple days or whatever, yeah, it is kind of concerning.
Yeah.
At least on my end.
I don't like if we
But
don't
if you
go.
feel safe and comfortable already and things are going real well between you, you're going to be texting, especially if you're in love, you're going to be texting them 2 or 3 times a day.
No, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And
but,
those are all initiated by you because, you know, most guys are at work slaying the dragons,
Mhm.
taking care of the things that need to be taken care of. And they're not always, you know, they may be in a meeting. Like right now, if somebody's texting me, it's like, oh, we're filming. I'm not going to
Yeah.
stop and see who it is. You know what I mean? I'm busy. I got shit to do.
I mean, also, I think it's different for everyone. Like, in Caroline's point of view, you know, she does get concerned when the guy doesn't text her
Mhm.
a couple hours
Yeah.
or whatever, but I've kind of learned to be as patient as can be. But again, like, it's different for everyone. But yes, after a long while, maybe after a few days, yeah, I do get, like, I
How come you
do
haven't
ask
texted
questions.
me?
Yeah, I don't.
It's like, this is not the
Yeah.
1950s anymore, babe.
Yeah.
You can call me anytime, day or night. Even if you need me to get you out of jail, you can call me.
I'm not okay
And
with.
what are you doing? Why don't you come over and see me? Bring me some chocolates. I like some chocolates and some beer.
I don't know. I don't think. I'm not comfortable with not hearing from you for a whole day.
Mhm.
Even if it's once, I'll be fine. But if you can go a whole day without
What do you
talking
mean by
to me,
not talking? Meaning,
like no contact, like you said, you didn't hear from her since
Like,
Monday,
you have no
Tuesday.
idea. You have no idea what
Yeah.
they've been up
yeah,
to.
what I'm talking about is kind of the initial stages. Because when you're in a relationship, especially when you're co-parenting together, you know, you're in contact all the time. I mean, if she's staying over at your house that night, she leaves in the morning.
Yeah.
And she
Well, that's
might
different.
text in the afternoon. So you're always in contact. I'm just saying that the
Mhm.
majority of the time it's always initiated by the woman just because that's what you guys do. You're bonders, you're nurturers. You want to connect.
Yeah.
You want to get his attention. That's why you guys put all the makeup on and
Mhm.
try on 20 different fucking outfits before you go out to dinner and
Mhm.
15 different pairs of shoes.
We're definitely guilty of that.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I took it as like if you're not talking at all within those days,
No.
that's an
Yeah.
issue. I can't go a whole
Yeah,
day
that-
without
Yeah.
talking.
At least in my case, that's what it is. That's what
To
I was
me,
trying to, explain.
yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't say it better myself.
Hmm.
So
Like to me, if you can go a whole day without speaking to me, you can go the rest of the days without that.
yeah,
Like, bye. We're done.
You won't just disappear though.
I will disappear.
No, you won't. You're in love.
I will match the energies.
If your boyfriend didn't text you for a whole day, meaning you hadn't texted him, he hadn't texted you, you would just ghost him.
If he's doing it on purpose, yes.
yeah.
Well, that would be manipulation. He's
Yeah.
not doing it on purpose. Maybe he's just busy.
If he's busy, it takes.
If you guys
1
just spent a
second.
whole weekend together, are you going to be talking constantly the day after you've
Not
both gone
constantly,
back?
but you could be like, hey, like, so today I have this going on. I probably can't talk that much.
Yeah, so the communication aspect,
yeah.
like, like they're thinking about you, but they're also kind of bringing you in on the loop of what they're going to be up to or what they have been up to
Yeah.
that day.
I got a friend of mine. He's a former special forces guy, and his wife fucking loves him, and so he travels for what he does for work, and she'll call him, and she'll be like, "Hey, do you miss me?" And he'll be like, "No." She's like, "What?" He's like, "Babe, I'm just being honest. I'm busy right now. I got all this stuff going on. He's running running meetings and stuff like that."
Oh my god.
And he's just honest and real, and she doesn't take it personally. She's just like, he just tells her like it is.
I'll cry. I'll go to sleep crying.
She fucking loves him.
No. I could never do that. I mean, like you said, everyone has their own different preferences.
But I think in the case of, like, say, if you're actually dating, I mean, you would kind of, in some way, shape, or form, expect them to communicate with you. I was just, like, saying earlier in terms of, if you're, I guess, trying to get to know them,
Yeah. It takes 1 second to respond.
Yeah, but when you're in a relationship and you've been together for a while, especially a year or two, and if you have kids involved, like I said, I wrote about one of my girlfriends that had a 5.5-year-old daughter when we started dating. She's 26 now and had just had a baby of her own.
Mm-hmm.
So, but back in the day when she was little, there'd be texts, hey, I'm going to pick up some chicken breasts tonight. You want to grill out? I was like, sure. She's like, hey, can my brother come over? I was like, sure. I'd love to see him. Those are the kinds of things that go back and forth.
Yeah.
But it's like you're in contact every day because you
Yeah.
spent the night together, or our daughter's sleeping in the bed with us. I'm taking her to school in the morning, doing all those fun things. That being a family basically.
Yeah, that counts as communication.
Yeah.
You know.
But I wasn't like purposely trying to ignore her. It's like she texted me 2 or 3 times a day, every day, because she's happy, she's in love.
Yeah.
It just happens naturally.
I agree.
And if the guy does it right, you're not going to be sitting there going, does he like me? Oh, what's going on? I haven't heard from him.
Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah, the anxiety drives you nuts. It's not worth it. Sometimes it's not
overthinking.
even worth it. Like it's like you said, Corey, you'll know. You'll just know.
You won't have to question anything.
Yeah, you look at what people
Exactly.
do. But when it's 50-50,
Oh, God.
50-50, friend zone, it's inevitable. Unless he takes corrective action. Maybe he comes across my book. Or maybe you teach it to him. I have a lot of couples that read my book together.
Maybe.
Paying it forward.
Then I'll turn into a total player and I'll have 3 or 4 of you going.
Okay. Knock on wood, please.